Hello, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a fall holiday table runner that I call Pumpkin Patch. So let's look at the table runner. As you can see, I've got these pretty pumpkins all in the center at the table runner, and at each end of the runner I have this fall leaf fabric. Then I've used some ribbon as a decorative trim. It's got quilt binding on the edges, and you'll also notice I've done this really nice decorative corner trim on all the corners of the runner. So let's take a look at what you need to have in order to make this table runner. Now, if you have your cell phone near you, put this video on pause and take a snapshot of this. This way you have it right in your phone, so when you go to the fabric store, you have all the information with you. The finished size of this table runner is 17 inches wide by 60 inches long. Now, if you need to make this longer or shorter, then you just want to shorten the measurements of your two top pieces that you're going to be using. It's really easy to do, or add a little bit of length to it. Okay, for the top of your runner, you're going to need one piece in the center that is 40 and 1/4 inches long by 17 inches wide. This is where my pumpkins were at. Then at each end of the runner, you're going to need to cut out two pieces 10 1/4 inches long by 17 inches. This was my leaves that I had, the fabric leaves. Then for the bottom fabric and the cotton batting, they both need to be 62 inches long by 19 inches wide. This is oversized from what the top of the table runner is. It's supposed to be that way, and I'll show you why later in the video. Then you're going to need 4 strips of quilt binding 2 3/4 inches wide. Now, if you don't know how to cut out your binding, watch my video, Straight Grain Binding, and you'll get complete instructions on how to cut it out. Then for your ribbon trims, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch wide, 19 inches long. For a total purchase, get 38 inches. I would even add a little bit more just in case you make a mistake. And then for the 1/2 inch wide ribbon, again, 2 pieces, same measurement for that. Okay, let's get started assembling the table runner. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, now you need to stitch the end pieces onto the center piece of the runner itself. Okay, so here's my autumn leaf fabric. I'm going to pin it down at the end of the pumpkin fabric. Okay, so smooth it all up, line up your edges, put pins all the way across here. Okay, please pin it, and then do a 1/4 inch seam all along here. Then after you're done, you want to press it. Give it a burst of steam to flatten it out. Don't stretch your fabric as you press it. Then push this over and then press right along here again. Remember, don't stretch the fabric, just give it a little burst of steam. Okay, now you're going to layer your fabrics. Let me adjust this a little bit. Now, you want to place your backing fabric down first. Now, if you're using a print on the back of your runner, make sure that this is wrong side up right now. Then lay down your cotton batting and then your top fabric and smooth everything out really well. Now we're going to pin it to prepare it for our top stitching. There's 3 methods that you can do to attach all these layers together. You can either use straight pins or quilting safety pins, or you can even do a hand basting throughout. So if you're going to do hand basting, you want to use big stitches and maybe do 4 or 5 rows the complete length of the runner. It's important that all your pieces stay secure in one place. Now I'm using straight pins because it's just easier for me. So you want to just place pins all over the runner, okay? Place them all over the runner. Now, before you do your quilting stitches, you want to make sure you have your walking foot on there. And if you don't know what this is for, this goes over that screw that holds the needle into your machine, okay? Now, a regular pressure foot will work okay, but you may have a problem with your fabric shifting and maybe getting little tucks in it here and there. So this is why I like the walking foot. It takes a lot of heartache out of it, but you can still do it with a regular pressure foot. All right, so after you've got all your pins done, you're going to start in this corner doing your decorative stitching. Now I'm going to just put some sample fabrics down here so that the stitches will show up better on this. Okay, so pretend we're on the leaf fabric and go in a few inches. Remember, you're going at a 45-degree angle and do a line of stitching. You can either do a straight stitch or this wavy line. Then go over a few inches and do another row. And continue down at a 45-degree angle the full length of the runner. So once you've gone down one time, now you're going to go over to this corner. And I'm going to bring out another piece of sample fabric, okay? And you're going to do the same thing. Going in a few inches, doing a row of stitches, going over, doing another row, and go down the complete length of the runner. Remember, at a 45-degree angle. Now, if all you have is a straight stitch, this is what it'll look like. So it'll still look really, really nice. Okay, now after you've done that, you're going to put your ribbons on. Okay? So here we go. Here's our ribbons. Now, you're going to take that 1.5 inch width ribbon and place it right over this seam. Just center it over the seam. Then put in some pins, all the way down the full length of the ribbon. Okay, make sure it's nice and straight. Then after you've done that, then you need to come over here and stitch. I almost forgot where we were going. Come over here. Stitch really close using matching thread. It'll look so much nicer if you use matching thread. Really close all the way down that side of the ribbon. And when you're done on that side, come over here and do the same thing, really close. Then take your 1/2 inch ribbon, center it over the 1.5 inch ribbon, and then pin it down. Now I found it easier to pin this ribbon going this way. And if you do pin it that way, make sure when you're stitching, you don't try to stitch right up over this pin head because it'll be a disaster. So remove the pins as you go along. And then stitch really close using matching thread on this edge all the way down. And then go over here and do the same thing. Okay, all the way down. Do this on both ends. Okay, now it's time to trim those edges off. Now you can see I've already trimmed a lot of it off. You're going to trim all of this cotton batting and backing fabric off. And when we do quilting stitches, sometimes the edges get a little jagged and they fray a little bit as you're working with it. So what we're going to do is clean up those edges, making it nice and straight. So take a long ruler if you have one. It works better with a long ruler. And line it up. And you're going to place this edge of the ruler on the edge of the top fabric. Don't place it here, right over here, okay? Line it up as best you can, all right? And you'll see that some of it is kind of sticking out and it's jagged. That's okay, because we're going to make it nice and straight. So now take your rotary cutter and start up here. And then place your rotary cutter. Press firmly down on the ruler. And go slow. When your rotary cutter gets to where the ends of your fingertips are, stop, lift your hand, continue cutting, lift your hand, continue cutting. And go around all 4 sides of the runner, trimming off that excess. Okay, now you're going to trim the corners, okay? Trim your corners off so that it looks like this. So you're going to trim off 5 inches, okay, from that corner, from this corner over here. So let me show you a little trick that I do. If you have one of these little grid mats, this really helps, okay? So line up both edges, okay, and line it up along here and along here. And count over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your ruler is going to go here, then count 5 from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So go ahead and place your ruler, okay, along those edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, we got it. Okay, now take your rotary cutter and you're going to cut it off. All right, now do this like this corner here on all 4 corners. Trim it off really nice. Okay, now we're going to put on the binding. Here it is. Sorry. Okay, now you're going to put on the binding. Okay, you want to start on any edge, any side, okay? And you're going to take the raw edge of your binding and place it on the raw edge of the table runner. All right. Now, you're going to start pinning it down. And as you come to these corners here, let me turn it a little bit for you. As you come to the corners, you want to put a pin right in the center there, okay? And then pull it around and line it up along this edge. Now you'll see you'll have a little tuck. Put a pin down. Okay, there you go. And continue pinning all the way around the runner. And every time you come to a corner, do it like this. Okay, now when you get to where your 2 ends meet, all right, you're going to overlap these 2 ends and you're going to cut the excess off, leaving a 1/2 inch overlap. So just take your scissors, cut off this excess right here, okay? Now you're going to bring the ends together. So open up the ends, bringing right sides together. Now I usually fold the runner in half because it's easier to bring these ends together when it's folded. And line them up really good and then pin it down. Now pin it really good. Use at least 2 or 3 pins on the end. Then you're going to do a 1/4 inch seam. Then finger press that seam open. After you're done doing that, just fold the binding, finish pinning it down. Now you're going to do 3/8 of an inch seam all the way around the entire runner. Now you're going to start from this raw edge here, 3/8 in. And as you come to the corners, leave your needle down, press your foot up, turn the runner, and continue going down. Every time you come to a corner, do it like that. And sew around the entire table runner. Then just a couple of more little steps and then you'll be done. Flip it over to the back and now you're going to pin it on the back, okay? So bring your binding folded around, all the way around, okay? Now you're going to take the folded line of your binding and bring it past the stitch line. And you're going to start pinning it down. So start at a corner, pin on one side of the corner, and then go to the other side of the corner and put a pin. Now you have this little bump right there. Okay, so let me show you how you take care of that. press down and in, fold it over, and then pin it. Okay? Sorry, it's a little bit of a struggle for me because the only part of my hand that works is my thumb. Okay, there you go. So you want to do that on all your corners. So continue pinning all the way around the entire table runner. One more step and then you'll be done, and that is to stitch in the ditch. And that's where two pieces of fabric come together. It's right down in there, okay? And you're going to start over in one corner. Now don't stitch on the binding. Stitch right against it, right next to it. Go all the way down. When you get to your first corner, leave your needle down, press your foot up, turn your runner, and continue going. And do that all the way around the entire runner. And then you have a gorgeous holiday runner that's really, really beautiful. Now, if you're a beginning sewer and you're a little worried that this might be a bit much for you to attempt your first time around, here's another autumn table runner. So watch my video, Autumn Leaves Table Runner. This one's much easier, less steps involved. Now, if after watching this, you feel that that one is too hard, watch my video, How to Make a Table Runner. That one is super easy. Won't take you hardly any time at all. I have one more holiday runner coming out for Christmas time. It's kind of a surprise. It's called Peppermint Candy. So to stay informed on all my future videos, click on subscribe. It's those big bold letters down there at the bottom of your YouTube screen. When you click on that, YouTube will prompt you to enter your email address. Enter that, and the next time I have a new video that comes out, YouTube will send you a really short email with a big button in the center. You click on that button and it takes you directly to my latest video. I'm Cheryl. I'm really glad you came to my sewing room. Now see you next time, and happy sewing.